Hey everybody. Before we start today, I just want to say thank you for all the support lately. 72 subs is insane, and I'm glad you guys are sticking with me. I'm going to be uploading more soon. We got this one right here, and we got a Suju Waifu coming up after this. So let's get on to the French. So you want to pick the Iris Libre or the Vichya Dominion as your link faction. Well, this faction will put you on one of two sides. You either praise the booty or plunder the booty. I'm sure you're okay with either option. So, being a divided France fleet, you get to see two sides of the faction. You get to see the Iris Libre, which is really heavy into the God-focused side, and the Vichya Dominion, which is still God-focused, but they kind of do more of what they want, as Jean Bart will put it. Half of the France fleet runs off of more of a holy theme. You have like St. Louis, you have Jean d'Arc, you have Rochelet, you have the Terrible. You can tell their designs are based around the holiness of their faction. But then you flip it to the Vichya Dominion, and you have like La Malin, Jean Bart, Gascon, Algeria, La Garçonnière, and you can see where that divide is. These are more wild, kind of out there. Not still holy, but definitely pushing more into that wild territory compared to the Irish Libre. Now we look at the back line of France. I hope you like shelling, because this is it, with the exception of, I can't pronounce the name, Chapin, whatever. This is what you have. You have battleships. You have one carrier, and it's Bond. Probably mispronounced that too, but you get the point here. You can see. You have Dunkirk, Jean Bart, Gascon, Rochelet. Rochelet is your faction buffer. Now, the thing with Rochelet is her faction buff actually depends on what you're running. If you're running Iris Libre versus Vichya Dominion, it changes. Right here, for instance, increases damage dealt by your Iris Libre ships by 1% and decreases damage taken by your Vichya Dominion ships by 4%. So one gets a damage bonus, one gets a damage reduction, and they both get a stat bonus. So you can really kind of build around that with them, especially when it comes to the Vanguard, which we'll talk about right now. Now, the Vanguard ain't bad. Vanguard's actually pretty good. So what we have St. Louis here. She is a very strong Pier 1 cruiser. We have Jean d'Arc, who is a pretty solid tank. And we have Algeria, who might not be the best tank in the game, but she is extremely beautiful. Now, there's a handful of purple destroyers, such as, Backline and some other ones, which I don't have. So they're, they're the waifu, I apologize. But in general, you're pretty much looking at some destroyers and some heavy cruisers. So yeah, it's an interesting little mixed bag they have here. St. Louis is still really good. She's still a really solid Pier 1 cruiser, really good for Siren, really good for high explosive damage. So she's perfectly fine. The Terrible just came out, so we'll have to wait and see how good she is. But she already has an advantage over most ships in this faction, I would argue personally. What do I mean by the Turbo has an advantage already over the other ships? Well, the Turbo's fast. Very fast. Very fast. So, what you can do is, if you want to, all you gotta do right here is just... This right here? Yeah, just remove these. I'm sorry, Lee Malin, but you've lost it. You are not the fastest ship in the game. The Terrible is. So to prove a point, I will go through my inventory real fast, and I will show you guys what +1 speed is. Probably not much to look at, but hey, it's fun. But level 1 means she's gonna die instantly. So what we're gonna do instead, we're going to enhance her. Pardon, a little quicker. Stupid. Big speed boost. Perfect. Alright, we have everything we need. So, if you guys have not seen this before, you are in for a treat. Let me show you why the Terrible is better than Malin now. Yeah, Luterra was pretty damn fast. I would argue she's probably faster than when the Blitzkrieg went through France. I know, that was a terrible joke. Yeah, I'll go back to just doing commentary now, I'm sorry. Alright, for PR, like I said before, you have a choice of 3 ships. You have PR1 with St. Louis, who is pretty strong. PR2, we have Gascon here. She's still a really good battleship, still throws out insane damage. PR3, we have Champagne, which I don't know how to pronounce that correctly, I've not researched it yet, but she's really strong too. So it's just more battleships in PR 1, 2, and 3, or pardon, PR 2, PR 3 battleships, and every cruiser in PR 1. If you don't have St. Louis, I'd say get her. You can just buy blueprints for her now, so it's relatively easy to get her, I would say. Now, like I mentioned earlier, visually speaking, these ships are extremely beautiful to look at. St. Louis, Richelieu, Jeanne d'Arc. I'm actually a pretty big fan of Lagos on the Air's new skin, and I kind of want to grab it, and I very well might. But in general, though, just Algeria, the Malin, their skins are really nice, and the faction itself is just visually appealing. Now, until we get to the fun part of the video, would I recommend the France faction? Yes, but with the catch again of a lot of their good ships are event only, and currently at the time of this video going live right now, the event Skybound Ontario is currently on, which carries Richelieu, Jeanne d'Arc, Algeria, Lagos on the Air, the Terrible. It is highly recommended that if you want to play this faction, pull on this banner, grab them, at least Richelieu, being the faction buffer of this fleet. You need her. Now you can still run it without her, with the 2 PR ships and Jean Bart, and still have an okay to decent, if not, competent backline of triple battleship. You'd be fine, but Richelieu gives a lot more than Jean Bart can provide. So yeah, it's highly recommended. Pull in this event before it's over and get lucky. I'm being serious about that. Like, I'm happy this event came back around because I did not have Richelieu up until this point. As you could probably tell from other videos himself, my Richelieu level 19. Didn't have her, didn't have Jeanne d'Arc at all. So I got lucky pretty early. You can see the pulls in a video before this. So yeah, grab her down. Like, go get them. If you don't have them, I would very much advise pulling for this faction. They're fun to play around with. They're visually appealing. I mean, why wouldn't you at this point? So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of So You Want to Pick. I've noticed actually a lot of people have been enjoying the So You Want to Pick series, and I'm glad you guys are. Eventually this series will come to an end when I reach the last faction, so I'm going to try to do something a bit different while keeping the theme of the factions together. It might be something down the line. When I finish the last one, I'll think of something. If you guys have any ideas what kind of stuff you want to see with faction based stuff, let me know down in the comments below, and I'll reply to them and I'll consider them, because I do like the So You Want to Pick series. It's been fun to do. I'm running out, and I want to know what you guys like. For the ones who have made it this far in the video, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And here's a little teaser for the next video. The next video is, of course, going to be Shuji Waifu. Who is it? Well,
指揮官様、新しいメールです。毒味は大砲がしっかりしたでしておきましたわ。
uh-oh.